Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 10 o'clock news on Q2, Montana's news leader.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Jeanelle Slade.
And I'm Jay Kohn. Well, tonight more than 10 million people in 3 states along the East Coast are under storm watches and warnings. As
Hurricane Florence moves along its path, winds have slowed, but that could all change at a moment's notice. And meteorologists warn everyone to not get too comfortable.
While the highways are hectic, the beaches are quiet in the Carolinas. That's where we find CBS's Courtney Zabowski in high-risk Wilmington, North Carolina.
All residents must be off the island by 8 p.m.
There's a mandatory evacuation in Carolina Beach, North Carolina, but some residents are staying put.
We have been in some other hurricanes. We're not trying to be heroic or anything like that, but we feel we have just as good a chance here as we would in town.
Forecasters predict Hurricane Florence could be different, bringing a storm surge before, during, and after landfall that could top 13 feet, higher than some homes.
This is not going to be, one of those storms that hit and move out to sea. This is going to be, a Mike Tyson punch to the Carolina coast.
That's why as many as 1 million residents in North Carolina have been asked to evacuate.
We are on the wrong side of this storm, where most of the damage is done.
President Trump also gave a warning about the storm's intensity.
It's coming in fairly fast, and it's going to be one of the biggest to ever hit the East Coast, one of the biggest to ever hit our country.
That bridge leads to Wrightsville Beach. It was shut down Wednesday night. First responders say they won't be able to help those who decided to stay on the other side during the height of the storm. Duke Energy expects up to 3 million customers in the Carolinas will lose power, and outages could last for weeks. Hurricane Florence is expected to make landfall Friday. Courtney Zabowski, CBS News, Wilmington, North Carolina.
Right now there are 4 named storms in the Atlantic, including Hurricane Florence.
Oregon Senator Jim Merkley says FEMA funds are being diverted to immigration and customs enforcement.
He says the $10 million is being spent on detention facilities, money that was diverted from FEMA this summer before these latest storms started to form. And although the amount transferred is less than 1% of FEMA's overall budget, Merkley says it still hinders FEMA's ability to help those in need.
The transfer was a part of a $200 million shift in money to detention facilities by the Department of Homeland Security. Q2's Bob McGuire joining us now. Bob, you told us earlier it's like 3.5 years of rain in Montana all at once.
Yeah, there's some places, the Barrier Island could see as much as 40 inches of rain out of this. It's going to be impressive. Now, let's go ahead and show you what's happened. This is the latest. This just came down. It's now been downgraded to a Category 2. It is 110-mile-per-hour winds. It's still expected to make its way in towards North Carolina, but you'll notice by tomorrow morning, as it gets there, it'll be a Category 1. Then it'll turn ahead towards Charleston, South Carolina. By then, it may just become a tropical storm with 70-mile-per-hour winds. After that, it turns back north again and heads up towards Charleston, West Virginia, and they'll see maybe 25-mile-per-hour wind, just a low pressure cell then. But take a look at how much rain this thing's going to make. Places like Wilmington, North Carolina, where we just saw, going to have over 2 feet of rain, 25 inches of rain there. Other places like Charlotte will be 10 inches. Columbia will see 10.66. Charleston, South Carolina will see maybe 7.81 inches of rain. It's going to be a very wet storm, and it's going to have a lot of flooding. We'll have our forecast coming up in a few more minutes.
All right, thanks, Bob.
A Billings man died today when his experimental aircraft crashed into a hangar at the Billings-Logan International Airport.
This happened just before 1 this afternoon at the far west end of the airport. The private experimental recreational vehicle known as a gyrocopter crashed into a private hangar.
Now, the aircraft are very similar to helicopters, but tend to be smaller and fly lower and slower. So far, it appears there were no witnesses, and the accident was reported by a bystander who heard the crash. Airport Director of Aviation and Transit, Kevin Plone, tells us the pilot had not been in contact with the tower.
We were notified that there had been an accident out on the west end of the airport. Apparently, a person was in an experimental gyroscope and somehow crashed into a hangar. Nobody witnessed it. There was a tenant out there who had actually heard the commotion. And after a bit, he went and checked it out, and that's when we were notified that something had happened.
And there is one deceased, the pilot, who is a 74-year-old male from the Billings area. But ultimately, our role here now at this point is to secure the scene, which we will wait until the FAA or the NTSB comes and takes over, and we're just going to secure the role for the scene for that period of time. Once they come and they take over, it will be their investigation to determine what's happening and where things are going with that.
Investigators with the FAA and the NTSB expected to arrive in Billings tomorrow.
Now, Plone tells us these investigations often take months to resolve.
In Missoula today, University of Montana football player Jeremy Calhoun pleaded guilty to misdemeanor assault. The senior running back just completed a 2-game suspension for this incident that occurred back in May. Now, during today's court appearance, Calhoun was charged and sentenced all in the same day. He admitted to punching and kicking a U of M student in the face, knocking out his front teeth. Judge Alex Beal sentenced Calhoun to a 2-year deferred sentence, also 100 hours of community service and a $500 fine. Missoula police responded to St. Patrick Hospital when they received reports of the May 5th fight that resulted in serious injuries. Missoula police interviewed the victim and 2 friends who told officers that it was Calhoun who struck the victim during a fight between multiple people. The victim told police he was trying to break up the fight when Calhoun intervened and punched him in the face, knocking out his front teeth. Now, it's unclear if Calhoun will accompany his teammates when the Grizzlies take on Western Illinois University on Saturday. It is the team's first road game of the season.
A sigh of relief for a group working to keep the genetic bloodline of Pryor Mountain's wild horses thriving. This after a federal judge recently granted a temporary restraining order to stop the Bureau of Land Management from removing 17 of those horses from the range. But now the group has a new goal: to expand the range and the herd. Q2 tagged along with Ginger Catherines, a documentary filmmaker, as she checked in on one particular band of horses near Lovell, Wyoming. She's also the executive director for the Cloud Foundation. The Pryor wild horse herd consists of about 150 horses, and Catherine says the removal would have meant the Spanish colonial bloodline would be lost. The Pryor herd is world famous, and Catherine says it brings an economic bonus to the area. She says her work now is to find a way to grow it.
Down here, of course, is a very low quality forage, so you have to have very few horses. But down at the north end of the range, there's a beautiful land that used to be used by the horses. We think maybe we could work on getting that back for the horses so that people who drive on this wonderful paved highway will pretty much be insured not to have to look and look and look, but we'll be able to see wild horses.
Now, court documents state the BLM gathered those horses to prevent overgrazing and damage to the land. Catherine says in the judge's ruling earlier this month, the BLM must work with Cloud Foundation on a new management plan.
MSU Billings celebrates the future and the soon-to-be-built Yellowstone Science and Allied Health Building.
I ask you all, please take a shovel and dig it up.
Many in the Billings community on hand for today's ceremonial groundbreaking for the $17.1 million project that includes a new building and renovation to the old one.
Now, the Billings community stepped up and donated up to $5 million towards this project. The Montana legislature appropriated $10 million, and the State Board of Regents approved another $2.1 million.
It will make a difference in individual students, real people in real time and real life for the rest of their life and for generations after that.
It's great for the city of Billings, great for the state of Montana, and great for our students.
This is about people. And that is a message and that is a lesson that this campus in over 90 years has understood very, very well.
This day represents the grit, the tenacity, the passion, the commitment of this community.
This community has high expectations for where this university will be headed.
For MSU Billings, this is a great day because it ends one chapter and begins a new.
Big day up on campus. Bill Kennedy says this project will go out to bid by the beginning of next year. Construction, well, it's expected to take up to a year and a half.
Coming up on tonight's 10 o'clock news, the FDA is putting its foot down on companies who make e-cigs available to minors.
Plus, it's a new face on the field of the NFL, and it might send those cheerleaders flying even higher.
And in sports, Scott fills us in on the status of Rockies freshman kicker as the Bears play their next 2 on the road.
You're watching MTN News with Jay Kohn. and Jeanelle Slade. Storm Tracker weather with Bob McGuire. And sports with Scott Green. This is the 10 o'clock news on Q2, Montana's news leader.